black, yeah. Soft black, soft black, soft black, soft black.
What up, world? Welcome to Talk Black, where we challenge stereotypes and embrace the diverse culture within the Black community. Join us for raw conversations as we get ready to unpack the Black experience in a world that's still figuring it out. It's not color, it's culture. I'm your host, Emmanuel Green.
I'm Ashley Jade.
Let's talk Black. All right. Ashley, how we feeling today?
Feeling good. How about you?
I am feeling good, feeling great. This is our officially our first episode, so forgive us, world, if this is a little. This is just our first episode, so we're doing what we do, introducing ourselves. So first and foremost, my name is Emmanuel Green, the man in the green shoes, as you can see here. I always wear green shoes. We'll talk about that story later. Ashley, go ahead and let them know who you are.
I'm Ashley Jade. I'm originally from the South. I'm from Louisiana, and I'm out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, doing some new things. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I'm originally from Deming, New Mexico. I left New Mexico about 12 years ago, give or take. Recently came back, and now I'm residing in Albuquerque, New Mexico for the TV film industry, and also I have a marketing consulting firm, so that's what's really bringing me back is the TV film industry, and then doing business within the New Mexico landscape. But born and raised here, I'm a former foster kid. I'm adopted, so it's a little different reason of how I ended up in New Mexico. Everyone always asks how did you end up, especially in Deming. For those of you who don't know, Deming is a border town right by Palomas, so it's It's really a place that you have to, if you're there, it's because you have a reason to be there. Either you're born there. I mean, it's not like you just go there and move there. So, but anyway, yeah, so being from Deming, I grew up a different way than most, especially being a person of color in a place that there wasn't a lot of us. We can probably count like 10 of us in total in the high school. So, growing up in an environment like that, you have to definitely fend for yourself, hold your own in those type of environments. But, I did what I had to. Got in a lot of fights growing up, especially on the school ground. But, after a certain time, bullies didn't mess with me. So at the end of the day, I don't know what bullying is because, someone bullied me. I just fought back. And usually bully, that's too much work. So they're not trying to go at somebody who's going to, go against them. So yeah, just some quick background there. And I was an athlete, ran track. I was trying to go to the Olympics. That was my first goal. Simply because, people who look like us, especially, watching TV and stuff, I saw two ways of getting out. It was either being an athlete or being in the entertainment industry. So I chose athlete, but I unfortunately injured myself. I was, on a bike of all things. And then second thing, I got into rapping. Once I injured myself, I was like, well, I can't get into sports. I'm going to have to do rapping. And that actually got me out. So I was signed at 17, Mr. Green, the man Green, all that. So yeah, I started doing the rapping thing, and that's what got me initially out of New Mexico. So, but what was down in Louisiana, what's the experience like over there growing up?
Oh my goodness. So with Louisiana, it's definitely totally different culture. I'm from Baton Rouge. A lot of people, they think about New Orleans first, of course, but Baton Rouge is actually the capital of Louisiana. So the culture there, it's a melting pot. If you've ever been to Louisiana, you'll know food is a big thing. Crawfish is a big thing. We're not all swamps. I've heard when I've come out here, I've heard people say like, oh, it's swampy. And it's like, that's not all that we are. Like maybe Florida, maybe you hear that, but the weather, that's another big thing. Very humid out there, but still nice. Like I said, it's a melting pot. So, culture shock when I came out here. Not a lot of mix out here when it comes to Black, I guess. So I guess that's what we're here to discuss.
Yeah, and it's not just, we're trying to shed light, obviously, on New Mexico because, being gone for 12 years, I've lived in all over the West Coast, California, lived in Texas, lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's funny because as I moved out of New Mexico and went to these places, They didn't. Most people thought New Mexico was Mexico, which is still strange. We are part of the United States, so that's one thing. But when Breaking Bad came out, that's kind of what put New Mexico on the map. And so, at least now people go, "Oh, you're from Breaking Bad," So they at least understand that Breaking Bad was shot in New Mexico, and they're somewhere in a place called Albuquerque. Most people know Santa Fe and or Albuquerque. No one knows where I'm from. So, but either way, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see what's changed. It's unfortunate that a show about that kind of thing. What was it about anyway? It was heroin, whatever, meth. There you go. See, I watched the show and I know it's one of those drugs. And I actually enjoyed the show, and it was crazy because ironically, it was kind of similar to the experience growing up here. But I'm saying that now on camera, but I'm just saying like it just sucks that was how people remembered and know who we are when there's so much more to it, which is kind of what drives us into the conversation. Because at the end of the day, New Mexico has a perception in the media because of what was portrayed and what's out there. And although it was a very good show, don't get me wrong, most people are going to associate that with where we're from. So it's the same concept with how we're portrayed in the media, the black experience, the whole concept. So, yeah, we want to talk a little bit about the whole black experience in media growing up, what that was like, and just kind of changing that perspective and helping people understand, there's different walks of life, and we all have it. Every race, everybody has their own perception, their own stereotypes. So we're just tackling that in the black community, and it's okay. You can watch. It's you don't have to be black to watch the show. You don't have to, we're just trying to open up the conversation, answer those questions that maybe you always wanted to ask, and you're just afraid. So we want to open those up. So starting out, why did we start Talk Black is one of the first questions. And I guess I want to open that door for you first, because you kind of introduced me to a new challenge out here that I never experienced initially as far as in the media space. But yeah, let's talk about how Talk Black started and why we wanted to talk about this particular topic.
Yeah, so basically we came up on the decision to start, the topic and the conversation based off of our experiences working in the industry. And I mean, as far as the industry, I mean the entertainment industry. I do background. That's what I've been doing since I've been out here. I haven't been like in front of the camera or anything like that, but just my experience being behind the camera, we do have our experiences as well. But my main thing is just how I was accepted or perceived, I should say, being in the industry. So doing background work and just the responses that I've gotten from people who work in the industry, that's what I've noticed, and that's what we were talking about as far as just where conversations need to be had and things need to be brought about as far as awareness on what we do experience as Black people, Black women, Black men, people of color in general, but just especially Black, because there's not many of us out here. I don't know what the percentage is. I think the 3%. Okay, because
around there.
Yeah, because I went to Phoenix for a little while. It's a higher percentage, but not by that much. It's not even 10%. Wow. So that was my main thing, where we had the discussion and we talked about just the lack of representation and just what we experience because of that lack of representation.
Very well said. And yeah, to go on top of that, I feel, being from New Mexico as well, it's definitely a different experience growing up here as an African American, a Black person. And and I was telling you kind of that whole concept of how I had to understand and how to even start identifying myself, because growing up I didn't see a lot of me. So it's hard to kind of have those conversations, and then the fights I had and the different things I had to experience were defending myself in the sense of being a Black boy, being Black in America. As you grow up, and now as a man, you start understanding like there's all this different things and different context to what it means to be Black. And in the media, all I saw, growing up, as people who look like us were rappers, were entertainers. And so I had this expectation of myself that that's what I was expected to be. And you can see the way I carry myself, the way I talk. I always talked educated. I always had, a proper way of saying things. And immediately, one of the drawbacks growing up was everyone always told me I talk white, And I now understanding the context of what that means and where they were coming from. And it's not even that they were racist, the show isn't talking about racism or, that kind of stuff. We're basically just understanding I'm trying to understand where they were coming from. And they were coming from a context of what was shown to them. And they've probably never seen, a black person in the media talking proper and just speaking, the way I speak. And so automatically, the only people they see talk like that, the doctors, the lawyers in media, were white, right? So automatically that association was like, oh, he's talking like a white person. No, I'm talking like a black person who's educated. There's a difference, right? So I think, once again, the portrayal of that is kind of what's changing, and what people need to understand is, and what I needed to understand about myself is that it was okay, because I would be in class sometimes and purposely talk black, right? I'd say a slang word, I'll be reading, and people know right away, like, what is he doing? But at that perception was what I was trying to upkeep, right? I was trying to be like, okay, this is what I'm expected, so trying to figure that out. Now, I don't know about yourself or what your experience was in Louisiana. I mean, coming from, that's a whole different perspective. Yeah. And I don't know what kind of struggles you had, but I guess we're talk about. So that was immediately growing up. That was one of my immediate struggles, is identifying as a black person. And if not, I guess I was a white person. And even family members would tell me that, when your family member is telling you that, like, oh man, you're white, or, and so how do you battle that? What's that, that inner battle with yourself of like, what does it mean to be black in America? So yeah, I guess asking you that, growing up with that experience, and what was your experience like out there in Louisiana and coming back here?
Well, my experience in Louisiana, like you said, it is completely different. It's like 180. Actually, I grew up around a lot of black people. I've been told before that I sound not white. I've heard Valley Girl. I guess that could be, contributed to.
Valley Girl, like California?
I guess so.
I know Valley Girl is California.
Yeah, I know they mean West Coast, and I know it's derogatory. Mm-hmm. But also, I've been told that I sounded Southern. Like, they could hear certain words, like in my dialect. They're like, that's the way you said that sounded Southern. I wasn't, what do you call it? It didn't bother me, to be honest with you, because my parents always instilled in me that to always be myself, and this is how I talk. And people who said that, I was just kind of like, oh, really? Because I would get different responses. So, like, I'd hear people say, oh, you sound like this, and oh, you don't sound like you're from the South, and like, oh, yeah, I hear it. But that's just me. That's how I talk. And the rest of my family members got it, too. They're like, you don't sound like you're from, the South or whatever. But I say that to say this, just growing up around black people or whatever, I didn't experience that. Just because, like, I had my friends and anybody who was white or anybody who was of any other race, they weren't ignorant to how they dealt with us, or not dealt with us, but just how they interacted with us. And I find coming out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's more ignorance. Some of them may be straight up racist, because a lot of people who live here aren't from here.
Right.
So we're finding a lot of people that's coming from Texas, a lot of people that's coming from California, a lot of people that's coming from the South or the East Coast. So this is becoming its own melting pot in a sense, but not a lot of black people are moving here. So what I find here is that there are some who may just be straight out racist. I'm not going to say that, give them a pass and say that they're not, but I do find it's more of an ignorance, where it's like, I don't know how to deal with you because I never had to. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, because you can tell upon like walking up into their space or just walking into a grocery store, they just look at you like, like you would see like a celebrity or something like that. Yeah. So it's almost kind of like that, that you're an outcast, that you're not from there, but you can tell because you're not from there and that lack of interacting with people who aren't from there, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. Sometimes they don't say anything, and sometimes they say stupid stuff. I've had people don't know how to conversate or just converse with me and just say things that they may have seen portrayed on the media. And that's another problem and another conversation in itself. The reason why we get some of the treatment that we get is because of what they see on TV,
Right.
which could be a major problem because we're not a monolith. All black people are not the same. We're not to be put in a box. And that's what I've learned as far as, growing up in the South. We are who we are. We are very colorful people, and pun intended.
Got that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I could listen to you all day. Like, that was just like, very well put. And we're just, speaking real, having those conversations. And one thing I will say too, growing up, it was, and like you said, I think it is the ignorance. I never put anyone off as a racist right away. That's not, especially in New Mexico. I mean, it's just more so ignorance, not understanding, because there's not enough of us. So like the hair, one thing was, growing up, I had the fro, I had the cornrows, I had all this different, different type of hairstyles. But, one thing that I didn't like, especially growing up, was how people would just blatantly come up to me and just touch my hair. Like, it would just be like, oh, can I touch your hair? They'd ask, but they do it anyway. Can I touch your hair? While they're touching my hair. And it's just, it's just interesting, like, where else in America, or just in general, what other person would you just walk up to and just go, touch, just grab their hair? And at the time, obviously, I just accepted it. I was just kind of like, I was trying to be cool, and that made me cool because I had the spongy hair, right? And now, it's funny to see the styles now coming back, because, what was seen as nappy back then, like, that's a style now. Look, we're making our hair nappy on purpose. And so it's just funny. But that was something else I grew up with, which you probably never experienced growing up in Louisiana, because black people, we understand our hair textures. And we know, especially black women. You don't just go up and touch a black woman's hair, right? You're not, don't touch her hair. Same thing though. Like, it didn't matter, if they're male, female, it didn't matter. They just enjoy touching my hair. But I accepted that as like, oh, this is how they're getting to know me, getting to understand who I am. So that was just an experience. Now looking back, I go, wow, that probably wasn't that's who does that, right? But once again, it's the ignorance and the idea of they didn't know, right? So you can't fault them for not knowing. And myself, I'm still figuring out myself, because I didn't have those people around me to discuss that, right? And black culture, and especially growing up in Deming, but just in general, my black history was Huckleberry Finn. So, I didn't even understand my own culture, let alone understanding, what it meant to be black, and letting these people do this to you, how degrading that could be, in a sense. But I just saw it as being cool or being accepted. So kind of interesting how that kind of all grew together. But let's talk a little bit more about, obviously our black experience growing up, but then that translating over into the media side, because like you said, you're doing background work now. And what got you in the media, and what has been your experience as a person of color, as a black woman in the entertainment industry on any aspect? What are you seeing, and what's been your experience as such?
Sure. So yeah, what got me into the media? First of all, it's fun. It's always been something that I wanted to do ever since I was a kid. I've always wanted to act, be on TV, just different forms of expression. So when coming out here, there's a lot of opportunity, very much land of opportunity out here. Things have grown so much since, 10 years from now, or 10 years since then. So my experience has been, as far as working in background, which is what I said I do, is with the makeup and the hair. And we've talked about this before, where I've mentioned where there's not enough. I feel like there's not enough people of color who are in that industry, in the background, who are able to do hair and makeup, who have the tools to do hair and makeup, or I would say even the patience. That was another thing too I forgot to mention as well, as far as hair and makeup, them not having the patience. I do find that I've had someone get frustrated because they didn't have the color that they needed for me. So I spent longer in the chair. which is, I knew I should have brought my own makeup. I just didn't that day. But it's just that kind of thing where it's like you work with actors and you work with actors of different colors and different races. Like this business has been around since forever, and you mean to tell me you don't know undertones? That was a big thing for me. So one of my experiences, in particular, something went on with my makeup where they had to clear all my makeup around my eye. And I had spent time that morning, getting it perfect, getting it right. I had all the stuff that I needed to get it done. But when I got to the chair, because in background, just to give you a little background on background, they check hair and makeup. Just in case they need to do close-ups or just in case they need to get responses and reactions and stuff like that. So we do have to get in the chair and get checked. So my main thing was I was doing a period piece where it was back in the 50s and we had to wear a certain makeup style. The lady had messed up my makeup and messed up the under eye and everything was just smudged. So I had to clear everything off. Little did I know she didn't have everything to put it back on. She didn't have the colors to put it back on. And everything that she did have was very much lighter than what I was, which goes to show you that she only had makeup for a particular color. So, again, this is why we need more people of color who are educated in makeup or just even how to do hair for other people of color for these experiences, because we work in background, and we don't want to have to encounter that. There's a lot that goes into background. We spend all day doing background, and you need to be just as invested in background as you are in the main actors, because we make the show or the movie. So that was my quick little experience in background.
All right, yeah. And my experience, being more coming from the music side, obviously there's that aspect of what you're expected to be from the music side, and I was an educated dude, so I was an A-B kind of student guy. Will Smith, I listened to Will Smith because he kept it clean. Like that was the first rapper I ever I listened to, and then the Tupacs and all those. And so I didn't get an opportunity. I mean, I listened to them, I wasn't supposed to, but I listened to all that, but I kind of resonated more with that because I was more of that kind of, clean cut guy. That was just me. I started to understand that. And, in the music side, I had to figure out, so I would drop songs or, and it still happens today. So I'm not even, this is nothing new. I'm rapping about killing people and doing because that's that was there, right? That's what I thought I was. And then when I got signed, they switched me more into like the Lover Boy, Puppy Love and that kind of stuff. And that was more my style anyway. But still, like I said, it's just figuring that aspect out. But then when I left the music industry and left the industry for a while and came back, I got into commercials because that was just an easy transition for me. And I just got in really fast with the commercial side. But it's just funny when I was in LA and out in the the big leagues. It was just funny some of the perceptions, just because I wore glasses. I was a smart guy, but it was just funny. One of the first things I ever got told in Hollywood was that I was black enough that black people were going to like me, but I was articulate enough that white people were going to love me. So, and now I take it, I can laugh at it now, right? But back then I didn't understand. And still, it's a perception, but, that person was only talking to me in the terms of marketing, right? I mean, it's not like, I don't know, I don't know if they're racist or not. But at the end of the day, what she was communicating with me was how other people would see me. But it's just interesting to think that that's what we're classed as, right? Because if you're articulate, you're whatever, then you're not black, right? In media anyway. You're the guy next door, the Uncle Tom, the guy that, it's just interesting to think that an educated or someone who talks a little different than what they expect is not deemed that way. So that's why, for me, my perception of black was kind of distorted a lot. And I recognized, I lived in, for those who know LA, Adams in Vermont, right outside of USC. That's where I started. And for For those who know, that's like the ghetto, right? So, but I was street smart. I understood, I'm from Deming, so street kid still, even though I'm articulate, I'm a street kid. I understand. So I knew how to not put myself in certain situations. But then seeing how even there, it was just kind of like people were just like, where are you from? You know, like, because the way I talked. And a lot of times people thought I was Dominicano, you know, because I did speak a lot of Espanol being from New Mexico. Coming back, I'm trying to get back to it. So my name is Emmanuel. So it's just kind of, you know, people were already kind of putting me up as Dominicano, Cubano, you know, that whole concept. So never was I deemed black. No, even by black people. Even by the way I talk, by just everything. Like, you sure you black, man? You know, and so, like I said, once again, it's just everything that was taught to me and everything that was fed to me was, you know, you're not black or you're not black enough. And so what it meant to be black was very, very strange to me. I didn't understand what it meant to be black or what they thought what black was. And that's, once again, what the media was portraying of us. So even ourselves were saying, oh, if we don't act that way, you don't talk that way, you don't look that way, then you're not black, you're something else. If that makes sense. So yeah, just digging a little deeper into that concept as well. What's something that I guess you'd like to see changed a little bit, just from your experience, and something that might have been a little awkward for you, you know, being black and being in the background. What was that like, and what do you see? It kind of makes it weird for you, you know. It's
funny you asked that question because I didn't feel that type of feeling until I came out here. Being in the South, like, I was just who I was. You know, it's almost kind of like you don't realize. It's almost kind of like you don't realize something until they point it out. Like, I didn't know that was a problem until you said something, because it wasn't a problem. But it wasn't until I came here that I realized that people were acting different. People were acting funny, and it wasn't me, you know. And a lot of times we as black people, we internalize other people's projections of us. And we need to watch that and realize that that's exactly what it is, because you're fine just the way you are. You know, it's not until you get into other spaces where people are uncomfortable and they have to hide who they are, and then now they're expecting you to hide who you are. And when I came here, I didn't do that. And to be honest with you, I got a lot of negative responses when I would walk into spaces where I feel like people would kind of look at me like, who does she think she is walking up in here? Because we're expected to feel inferior or look inferior. And when you walk into a space and you know who you are, and people perceive that you know who you are, they can't tell you who you are. They can't control you on that level. So that's what I notice when I walk into background spaces. I do get these responses where either people don't talk to me, or people just kind of look at me strange, or they'll just flat out have an attitude with me. Like, they'll be rude, very rude to me. That's what I've experienced being in background. And I've never changed myself. Like I said, I was who I was before I came out here. But that's just one of the things that I did notice when coming out here. It did feel a little weird because, like I said, I didn't see I didn't see much representation of myself, but I didn't internalize it to where, okay, I'm going to change to make these people feel more comfortable because they don't see much of me. In fact, I wanted to stand out even more, to be honest with you, and not in an obnoxious way, but it's like, I'm going to be who I am, whether you accept it or not, you know? So that's been my experience since I've been here. Being more, in fact, like I said, being more comfortable with myself. And I found that I did have a group of people who loved me, you know, who were very like, you know, trying to figure out who I am and, you know, like what it is that I like to do. And people who I did find people were interested. And then I had the ones who were just like, you know, whatever. But like I said, that's been my experience since being here. And I'm just kind of like, hey, if I can be a beacon of light and, you know, if you want to get to know me, then just ask. But if you don't know what to say, just don't say anything. Because like I said, I've had people walk up to me and don't know what to say and very ignorant in saying it. And it's like, I know what you were trying to do, but they don't realize just how awkward they're making situations when they come up and ask questions that they don't know how to ask, you know. And then they feel like I've slighted them if I'm just kind of looking at them like, I don't know what we're doing right now. I've had people in the store ask me questions like, in fact, when you talked about the hair thing, I've had people ask me about my hair, and I'll just kind of look at them like, what are you asking? You know, and they're not expecting that. They're expecting you to be kind of, you know, like elaborate on what you do with your hair and that kind of thing. On my end, I'm just kind of like, don't be, I guess, passive aggressive. Like, ask me straightforward, like what it is that you want to know about my hair. And I've always been like that. Like, I've always been pretty straightforward with, if I'm going to ask you something, I'm going to ask you straight out. I'm not going to do a roundabout way of asking you a question and you're trying to figure out what it is. It's like, no, just ask me what it is that you want to ask me. I'll answer it. If it's not, you know, if it's, you know, or asking me if all my hair is real, that kind of thing. I've gotten that one,
Right.
You know. And to piggyback off what you said earlier about how white people would, I guess, have a problem with how you talked or that kind of thing.
Well, it wasn't even just it wasn't just white people. It was in general just people who weren't who understood the culture. So it was people from all walks of life. So it's not just white people. That it was just people who maybe didn't grow up around black people. So everybody had their own perception, right? So, but yeah. So just to clarify, it wasn't just white people. Like being in New Mexico was mainly Hispanics, right? So the experience I had was with Hispanics mainly, not white people. So, but then you go other places where there's more white people, then it's more of the white culture that's doing that, or the misunderstandings. But still, there is in every culture the misunderstandings of somebody else's culture, right? So we're just trying to understand and give them the perspective of what that felt like to us. But just for clarification, yeah.
Okay. And to piggyback off of that, what you said, we almost have to think about why, as far as when we ask those questions or we have these perceptions of black people, why are we the only ones that are being, critiqued in that manner? And what I mean by that is, do we do that to our white counterparts on how they speak, how they act, how they talk? Do we do that to Hispanic people? Do we do that to Asian people or any other race out there? We're the only ones that are just very much scrutinized for everything that we do. And we have to ask ourselves, why do we do that to each other, and why do we do that to ourselves? We even do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
When we're in black spaces. So it's almost kind of like, in order to answer those questions, we have to ask, are we taking accountability of ourselves? How do we feel about ourselves to feel like we need to critique somebody else that looks just like me?
Yeah, and these conversations need to be had, and I'm glad we're having this space to talk about it and just kind of and talk about some of the experiences we've had. And I know there's experiences all across. I mean, everyone has their critiques from their culture, from their perspective. So understand what we're trying to do with what we're doing here is just kind of give a glimpse into the black experience in general, and so we can all learn from it and learn from each other on even our own perceptions and what we're experiencing. Because growing up around the Hispanic culture mainly in New Mexico, we were having this conversation prior to starting this, how just especially the macho kind of demeanor in the Hispanic culture, the ese vatos, I came up with all that. And so a lot of times, and they would call me outside of my name, but it never was the N-word, right? It was, it's called, their form of it's called mayate, right? So mayate is a black bug. And basically, but it's a derogatory term to call someone of color. And so, and a lot of times growing up, I was faced with that word, faced with them calling me that. But it wasn't, and I can't say all of them weren't, coming from certain type of spaces, but majority of it was testing what are you going to do about it? Because I found as soon as I stepped up to anybody who called me that, they never called me that again. So you would figure if it was coming from racism or prejudice, that they would call you that regardless if you came at them or not. But the minute you showed them you're not gonna disrespect me, they respected you, and then they no longer called me that, right? So that's why I'm starting to understand that sometimes it's just coming from a place of where they're at and not understanding. And in that culture, especially growing up where I'm from, it's just about the testing the waters, right? Just like, and I've never been in prison, but I'm just using this analogy, right? They're gonna test you on the on the field, right? They're gonna test you, right? So at the end of the day, that's what that was. It was just a testing, because I never had any real problems outside of that with being black going in New Mexico, back where I'm from, as far as growing up. And yes, there's other things that I was exposed to that caused trauma that I didn't understand until now. But I'm just saying, in general, it wasn't, and then if I got in a fight or something over someone calling me that, I mean, they knew that's what it was. And so they knew if they did it again, we'd get in a fight. and it wasn't about them losing, who's winning, whatever. I found even if I lost a fight, because I've lost plenty of fights too, it didn't matter. They just didn't want to go to the headache of fighting. So if you're going to call me something outside of what you normally would call me, expect that I'm going to hit you. And they just didn't want to deal with it. So like I said, once again, I feel like that's just what it was. It was like testing me. But had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have known. And yeah, I'm sure other cultures, you don't have to, there's a rite of passage, right? But me being a person of color and then being in a space where there wasn't a lot of people who look like me, it was more coming from, well, it's only like two of you, right? So what are you really going to do if we call you this, right? And then if you step up, I never had any problems outside of that, right? As far as real problems, someone coming at me like that. So I just wanted to clarify that. But as we get closer to wrapping up this segment and this our first session, one of the few things we wanted to do too, one of the topics that I wanted to kind of touch on before we get out was just what's a awkward experience that you want to tell everybody to stop doing or to change when it comes to interacting with someone of color out there in the world. And I have my own, but I want to give you the space to kind of, and this is just kind of just something funny, whatever, something that you've experienced where you just, if you, just kind of step back from it and just be like, could you not do that, please? What's something, and this is just catching you right now, but what's something you feel, that's awkward, that makes it weird, that you'd wish but people would stop doing, just naturally out there, and just let people know, like, stop doing it.
I honestly, it's one of those questions that on a personal level, I feel like it's one of those things on a personal level that it's not something that they need to stop doing. I feel like it's something that they need to do.
Okay.
In order to stop doing it, if it makes any sense.
That makes sense.
So it's almost kind of like, how about ask yourself why you're doing something before you do it. Or think about something before you do it, or think about something before you say it. So it's more of, you need to do this before you do that. And think about if you really need to do that or say that. I find a lot of people, like, they're very impulsive. Just think, can we think? And I feel like that's something everybody should be doing anyway. But thinking before you respond, or think before you react, or think before you do anything, because a lot of times we don't know that we're stepping on somebody's toes, or we don't know that we're offending somebody. We're very impulsive, or we like to call ourselves blunt and straightforward. But it's like, at the end of the day, we're human beings, and we respond in ways to where you may not understand. So my thing is that it's not that, for me, that you need to stop doing something, but can we think before we do something, just on our actions?
Yeah, that's definitely well spoken there. And for me, I feel, and like you said, it's more about thinking, but it's impulsive. So for me, being in the business world, and the first time anybody ever told me I could, be something outside of an athlete or a rapper, it was an Asian man in the Bay Area that told me, hey, you could actually be a businessman, and that just blew my mind, because no one ever told me I could be successful in business or do business as a black man, right? I just never saw that. So it was a change for me, but I'm glad he did it. The man changed my life. Known him for 10 years plus, and, phenomenal guy, somebody who's really helped me out and changed my perspective of who I am and how I see myself and how I do business. But ultimately, one thing I wish people would think about then, especially, and this is in the business community. So I've noticed, and this is across the board, no matter where I'm at. When you're in the business meetings, the conferences, the networking. And don't get me wrong, everybody comes from a different space. So I'm not saying those who are doing it shouldn't do it, but it's just kind of like, so when you're the brother in the room or whatever, you automatically you're drawing attention, especially when you're one of the few in the room. But number two is, you'll see everyone, they're shaking hands, hey, how you doing? And then they come to you and it's like, what's up, bro? And they, they do the, and it's just, and let me tell you something, like for me, I'm down with that all day, every day. But if your direct demeanor is to change the minute you see me, and that's not normally how you greet people, don't do it because I'm a brother in a suit. Like, you can shake my hand. It's okay. Like, we can do that too, right? It's not, and I've found across the board, it doesn't matter where I'm at, it doesn't matter what I'm in. There's always people doing, and it's a majority, right? And it's not just white people, right? It's across the board, but it's just funny that they feel, because I'm a very observant guy. So I see how people interact, and I see how, and if it's one thing if you're doing that to everybody, but I see how you're interacting in the room and you're shaking everybody's hand, and then you come to me and you do the dab and you do the hug and you do the, I get it. I feel you. It's all love. Don't get me wrong. It's all love, but you don't have to do that. You can just shake my hand, because if you're that kind of guy, I feel it. I know. I'd be like, what's up, man? What's up, dude? Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you too. What's your name? Da-da-da-da. But if it's like, how you doing, sir? How you doing, sir? What do you do? Like, it's okay. Like, I'm that guy too, So for me, I guess that's one of the awkward, whatever, that I would wish people would think about before doing. And it's kind of impulsive, and it's something that we've all been seeing in the media. But just know, like, you don't have to dab up every bro, and you don't have to call us bro either. You can just be like, how you doing, Emmanuel? What's your, hey, nice to meet you, bro. Like, So once again, that's just one of those things. But to wrap things up here, we like to always end, or not always, we will start ending every show with a trivia question or something that you guys can follow back up on the next episode, and we'll give you that answer to the question. And so Ashley is going to start us off with these trivia questions, or whatever we feel, just so you can come back and get the answer if you don't know, already know the answer. But yeah, so Ashley, feel free to drop the trivia question for people to come back on the next episode and find out what the answer is.
All right. So I feel like if you're in a certain generation, you will know this, and I'm probably telling my age right now, but I will start off with Nickelodeon Yellow Frog.
Nickelodeon Yellow Frog, y'all. All right. So with that being said, we want to thank you guys for joining us, and make sure to plug in, start following us, get in the comments, drop us notes, drop us anything that you're feeling, doesn't matter. We'll be here to discuss and talk about it. But join us on the next episode as we continue our conversations and really delve deep into the Black experience. So until next time, join us, and always know that it's not color, it's culture, where we always talk Black.